So they were out on the boat. There were seven of them out on a boat fishing. It's morning time. They're tired. They're probably sweaty. They're exhausted and a little bit disappointed. And some fella on the shoreline yells out, "Hey children, have you caught anything yet?" If you're taking notes, you can write this down. Jesus likes to show up at very inconvenient times. They didn't know it was him, but he was there at a certain time, at a certain place, at work. Is it possible that Jesus could show up at work? Is it possible that Jesus could show up at play? Is it possible that Jesus could show up when we're at the gym, when we're playing sport, when we're walking the dog? Is that just a question? Could Jesus show up at a time that is inconvenient to us? What do you mean, not at church, not in a service? Yeah, I wonder if Jesus sometimes does like to show up outside of a window on a Sunday. Or when we're opening our Bibles, does he show up as we're reading our Bibles? Yes, he does. But can he show up outside of that? Of course he can. Even if we're not expecting. Even if we're not ready. So Jesus shows up at times. And he just does the old pop-in thing. You know, God invented the pop-in, don't you? He just shows up. Here I am. But at this point, they had not yet seen him because God had not yet revealed himself. I wonder if it was inconvenient for the Samaritan woman in John chapter 4 who was getting water in the middle of the day and then Jesus shows up. Was that convenient? What about in John chapter 5? Where the man that couldn't walk was at the pool of Bethesda. Was that convenient when Jesus showed up there and a miracle took place? What about in John chapter 9, there was a man who was born blind and Jesus just happened to be at that time and place walking past? Was that convenient? What about Mary Magdalene in John chapter 20? At the tomb, Jesus, he shows up. God invented the pop-in. I wonder if we would let him pop into our worlds and if we'd be able to see him. I wonder if he's showing up at certain times throughout our week. And like the disciples, we missed him. But this isn't just a New Testament thing. What about the Old Testament? What about God showing up in a burning bush? Well, that's out of the norm. What about with Samuel? In the middle of the night, God shows up. Is that you, Lord? That's a bit inconvenient. What about Daniel in the lion's den? Lord, can't you see I'm about to get eaten here? Can you leave me alone? Bit inconvenient. What about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in a fiery furnace? And God rocks up. Lord, we're looking forward to being singed to a crisp right about now. What are you doing here? God shows up at moments in our lives. At times we realize that it's him. At times we don't. And 2020 vision is beautiful because in hindsight, like in the road to Emmaus, was our hearts not burning? He was with us the whole time. Have you had those moments with him where in hindsight you look back and go, he was with me even there and then. Lord, help me let you invade my personal space.